Hey, I'm Trey Rents, and this is my friend
Joseph Coatney.
And welcome to, hold for applause, welcome to the season finale of Rennie and Doc. This is Rennie and Doc.
Yeah.
I'm Rennie, you're Doc. We've been doing it for a long time, more than a year.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Has it?
yeah,
Wow.
about 9, we started in January, and we've only done 29 episodes. It'll be the 30th episode. The 30th episode. But as we've previously discussed, we've recorded a few more than that.
Yeah.
Just that have failed or in some way or another. And it's funny thinking back to that. I remember when the first one failed. And we were like, we can't put this out. And then later on, when they started to fail a little bit more, we were like, whatever, who cares? Nobody's watching. So we did get a little lax in our output, but that's fine. It's really about the content of the character rather than the thing of the thing. You know the thing. So welcome to the season finale. We're gonna take a little break or a long break. Who knows? We're men.
Yeah.
We do things that we want to do because that's the way the world works. I wanted to say this before we get into anything, and it's just because we didn't record last week. I was coming home from the gym, and I've since looked for the story and couldn't find anything about it. I was coming home from the gym. I was in Sand Springs, like Prattville. Mm-hmm. You know where that Quick Trip is in the shopping center? Mm-hmm. So I'm stopped I'm probably 3 cars back from the intersection at Quick Trip. And I begin to perceive this crunching, grinding noise behind me. And I think, what the hell is that? And I look over. This white truck zooms by. No front left tire. He's on his rim. Oh. He's grinding along. And he pulls out in the intersection. Now, behind him are 30 cop cars.
No.
And I go, now this is something.
Yeah.
So I've never seen this before in my life. Now, this guy, he comes right next to me, right in the next lane, pulls up, comes in the intersection, just grinds around, does a big, like 180 or 360, I guess it would be. And he starts coming this way. Now, I'm 3 cars back. I'm thinking he could hit me, but probably not. But the thought did pop in my head.
Wow.
And then he kind of, what do they call it? Drifted? Because he can't, he's missing something. He may be missing more, but he was missing that front tire for sure. But he drifted along and he started going towards Sapulpa. And all those cop cars went with it. I said, well, there you go. It's not something you see every day.
It's not.
And I've never witnessed anything like that in my immediate vicinity.
Yeah.
I see TV shows and I see news articles. But all that to say this, I drove home because I'm driving to Sapulpa. And I'm looking for a wreck.
Yeah.
Where's this guy landed? He's going to wreck. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking. I look off there. Nothing. I get home. I didn't see anything. I didn't see any cops. So I don't know what happened to the guy. I was the guy that I was with, my buddy at the gym. He had heard. I guess he has one of those radio things. I don't know what they're called. Scanners. Mm-hmm. Scanner darkly. And he said that he heard about it. And then there's simultaneously another chase going on somewhere else in Tulsa. And even the cops got confused. And I think they lost the guy.
Wow.
Now, he was on his last leg on that car.
Yeah.
But now, I'm not saying that the cops suck at their jobs, but you take what you will from that. But yeah, I never did find out what happened to the guy. I assume something bad he had done previously. As I talk like Yoda, that I say it backwards, forward, and then that kind of thing.
Something bad he has done.
I did want to... Now, there's a couple things that I picked out for today. Hopefully we don't get any copyright stuff going on. We are wearing suits because it felt like a good time to do it. We hadn't worn suit. We wore suits like on the 5th episode. I look back.
Okay.
But now this will make sense of why it's on my mind to you and me. Mm-hmm. And I guess I could say that why it's on my mind. But I like to keep secrets. I'm a secret boy. Yeah. But I did want to play. This is one of my favorite all-time openings to a movie. It's about 2 minutes. But I think it's just a very, when I look for an opening of a movie, it's like it adds tension and it it sways emotion with the music, and this has a narration over it. And I thought we'd just watch it. And oddly enough, this is 3 or 4 years in the future, so this could happen. I mean, we don't know. I mean, we're on the precipice of an election, so let's watch. This is the intro to Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and it's been on my mind as of late. And you know, that's a lot of dead
3
bodies.
billion human
It's coming.
lives ended on August 29th, 1997. The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day,
What's funny? It's funny that it's 1997. I forget how old this is.
the war against the machines.
Now it may not be good, but I did show Penny because she saw the costume. I did show Penny some of this, and she thought it was so cool
Yeah.
that I was gonna do that. I didn't show any of the gory parts
Yeah.
or anything like that. She did go, "Why are there so many skeletons?" I said, "Well, you know, some bad things can happen." But
I mean, I watched this when I was way too young to be seeing it.
I don't remember when I first watched it. I know I wasn't allowed. I remember a lot of people watching it at my grandparents' house, and they said, "No kids."
Yeah.
I was like, "I want it though."
Yeah. I mean, I had toys when I was a kid.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I think I had toys from the first one. Like I had one that Arnold's face like popped down.
Yeah, I
and
had
it
that one, too.
Okay, so everybody.
Yeah. My brother had the endoskeleton, and I was always jealous.
Ooh. A lot of that happened in the 80s and 90s. We had a lot of. They would take R-rated things and kid
Yeah.
it down to.
Yeah.
I was just watching a thing about Beetlejuice because it just came out,
Yeah.
and I grew up with the cartoon.
Yeah.
I think I knew that more than the movie.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting.
Computer
There may have been a
which
turbine.
controlled the
I
machines.
don't know. Whatever.
Skynet sent 2 Terminators.
I just want to
back
get to this
time.
opening.
Their mission to
Not
destroy
that it matters.
the
This is
leader
our
of the
show.
human resistance.
This is the show.
John Connor, my son. The first Terminator was programmed to strike at me in the year 1984, before John was born. It failed. The second was set to strike at John himself when he was still
I'd also
a
say
child.
this. This is one of my favorite movie themes, and I don't know who wrote it.
As before.
The second one, the
resistance
second
was
version
able to
is
stand
better
alone.
Yeah, it
than the
is.
first one. The first one's a little more electronic.
It was just a question of which one of them would reach him first.
The percussion's really good.
It's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, and that's the thing, but I just wanted to get to that. It's just a perfect timing.
Yeah.
I would say that's as iconic as like Back to the Future or
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows what that is.
what's another one that was big? Well, Superman.
Yeah.
A lot of those big. I don't think you have that anymore. As much as we like
No, not
movie
really.
scores, even the Batman thing that you like so much, and the Superman one, I like the later on the Hans Zimmer stuff. It's just not as like well regarded or like that penetrates every piece of society. People hear the first Superman theme and they go, "Ah, that's Superman,"
Yeah.
and it's just there. Everybody knows it. It's weird, interesting. But no, I love that. I love things that. And it's not just movies. I think I like things that sway my emotion.
Yeah. No, there's this YouTube channel, I can't remember what it's called, that I watch now and then, and this guy breaks down like scores and themes and stuff, and he plays them very simply on a keyboard, and then he plays the real song, and he shows you the chords.
What is the YouTube?
I don't remember.
Damn it, Joe. We could have plugged it for all our thousands of millions
But-
of viewers.
He was talking about the whole Marvel universe. The reason nobody remembers the music is because there's no theme songs. It's just like incidental music.
Yeah.
And he like the Marvel icon when before the movie starts is more iconic.
Ding.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah.
That's true. That's kind of a. I think maybe that's as close as we've come.
Yeah.
But that is well known. I think people would, if they heard it without the visual, they'd probably go, "That sounds really familiar."
Yeah.
And
They should have made that like Caps theme or something like that, and then
could have been. I don't. You know, I assume I've watched all of those movies I probably missed very little, but I couldn't tell you any of the music.
No, the only soundtrack.
Scound.
The only soundtrack I bought from the Marvel universe was the Loki soundtrack
Ooh, I can't remember that either.
because I really liked his theme.
I wonder if movies just aren't relying as much on music anymore. Do you think it was like a more of a
I think
a thing?
when we, this is going to sound weird because we're talking about comic book movies. I feel like
well, it's still a movie.
when they started trying to make it feel more like grounded and not so much like fantasy,
Yeah.
then they took that away.
Really?
That's my theory. I don't know. But Star Wars was one of the first movies since
People would know that.
old-timey movies, like 60s and stuff.
Yeah.
They had stopped doing the big like score through the whole movie, and George Lucas wanted to bring that old style back. And so that kind of changed
Oh.
the soundtrack world.
I would have never known that. I'm not a big avid watcher of all those old 60s, 70s movies are just you don't realize how boring they are until you go back and watch them. Like I'm sure they were very action packed and very entertaining back then, but having, we've released so many like giant like action scene, like everything's extreme now. To go back, it's like everything's a slow burn. And it's just like, they have a lot of car chase scenes.
Yeah.
But that was really the extent of their action, I think. I mean, you had shootouts and stuff like that, and I like a good shootout myself.
Yeah.
But it's not like, now you see a guy getting his head blown off.
Yeah.
Literally, like a Rambo movie.
Yeah.
I remember there's one scene in that Rambo, I'm not show it here, but I don't know if you saw it. When he first came back, he was he looked a little bloated. He hopped up onto a Jeep that had like a 50 cal machine gun. Mm-hmm. And there was a bad guy in the front seat, and he took the machine and he pointed out, like, ah! And he just blood squirt. And you're not going to get that in 1965.
No, that started in like the 80s.
Like the big climax in 1965 was or maybe let's like the 50s. Like the bad guy gets shot and he goes like this,
Yeah.
and they don't even show a hole. He just
No
blood
blood or anything. No. Yeah.
and he falls over. So
It's
that
true.
was the big thing.
I think that's why 80s movies stuck with me so much because the gore factor went.
Damn, that may have been when it started. I like a good gore.
Some of those directors really leaned into those squib.
I like the squibs. But I have to say this: when they got into the age of digital blood, it didn't bother me if it's done well.
Yeah.
Because I think Zack Snyder used this a lot in the 300 movie. Like he could control like what it looked like when
Yeah.
it shot out. Like a squib's gonna look like whatever happens to the thing when it explodes. But I do like the old ones.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too if it's done well. The John Wick movies use a lot of CGI blood and
Yeah.
CGI muzzle flash because they're too close to each other to use blanks,
Yeah.
and so they just
Well, and you could die like that,
Yeah.
that crow guy.
yeah.
Speaking of that, did you see the trailer to that new one?
Sadly, I
wanna
did
eat-
see the trailer.
I didn't even see the whole thing. I, can't
didn't
believe
either.
Okay. Who was that targeted for?
I
Young
don't know.
emo women?
I'll tell you what's funny about that though. The original director to the Brandon Lee version has been trolling them so hard and retweeting like the negative reviews and stuff because he basically told them to leave it alone. Don't do any more sequels.
Right. Well, I'm fine with sequels if you do it well. The thing is, I think they dressed the guy up. You remember when the Suicide Squad came out?
Yeah.
When they put all the weird tattoos on the Joker, made him look like a
Yeah.
something guy. That's what it looked like to me. Like,
Yeah.
let's spruce him up, make him look cool, but not cool. Or I don't even know what they're going for.
I don't either.
It's interesting. I never even liked The Crow, so I don't care if it
I liked
crashes
the
and
first
burns. It's just
Then
it never
ironically, they made one with
Furlong.
John Connor. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
didn't
I
either.
am aware of it.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
I never did either.
It just didn't. I kind of like the idea. He gets killed and he gets resurrected and revenge. I like a revenge.
Yeah.
I like a good revenge. I like a good comeback from the dead story. But something about it seemed like it was too rock and rolly 90s type of thing. I don't
can
know.
see that.
Something about it. I don't know. Nevertheless, there was another thing. we never. I only bring this up because we've gone over so many, or we've portrayed a lot of things, but we haven't watched a piece of this show yet. And it's one of my favorite shows, and you haven't watched it, but I got the DVDs if you want to borrow it. Anyways,
I was supposed to bring you Monty Python.
Oh yeah, well, but this is a scene that I really like from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it has our favorite Jerry Seinfeld, and I think it was the season where they were going to have a reunion to the Seinfeld show. But nevertheless, this is another show about nothing.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, how many napkins does a person need to get through a sandwich?
I don't know. I use a lot of napkins.
Always, every meal. You should bring a bath towel to eat. That's what you should bring.
I'm kind of a big napkin guy.
I'm sorry. Hey, man, good to see you. Long time.
Good to see you.
He died this year. Last year? This year? Can't remember.
I think it was this year.
Yeah.
We ordered. We couldn't wait.
I can see, but I want to eat something. I'm famished, so, I'm starved.
Oh, move over.
I'm starved.
You see? What? No, you.
What's going on?
I've seen most
Can
of
I
the
sit
first
down?
season
Oh, you have?
and second
How many
season.
years you know this guy? I mean, you're close friends.
You're right. I know him longer, so we should sit over there because I'm actually going to be talking to him more than you.
Kind of
So
agree
I
with
should
that.
have eye contact with him as opposed to turning around and straining my neck.
I had
Yeah.
that same
Yeah,
conversation with my
right.
wife. She was like, "Why don't we sit beside each other when we go eat?"
Look, the only reason you
And
want
then
to
after we
find
did
over
that,
is you want
one time she's like, "You're right. It is better to
luxury
sit
Of
together."
course
is.
I want the luxury suite. You want the luxury suite too?
Yes, I do. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I
Come
do.
on, yeah.
But you.
Oh,
Oh,
Hey.
Oh my
it's
God. What the
having
hell?
you brung that up. I'm Southern boy.
seeing as how.
Seeing how you did that. I think I have heard, and I could be wrong about this, but if memory serves me correctly, I think that, and maybe the women out in the world that watch the show, which are few, I think that women think that that's more romantic,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me because it makes no logical sense. Because, like you said before, and like Larry David said, and then if she's a lefty and you're a righty, or vice versa,
I am a lefty.
you're trying to cut your noodles. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes you cut noodles,
Cut it.
you're playing armsies over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think the logical part of our brain goes, I'd rather see you.
I mean, even in this situation,
This is
got,
odd,
You got
yeah.
the chairs angled so that we're
Right.
slightly.
We're not sitting straight forward
Yeah.
because then I'd really have. I'm breaking my neck. I might as well break my neck and turn my head. It is an interesting thing. I like. This is the kind of stuff that I like. Is that these little things in life where you like it too.
Oh yeah.
The little things in life that just could be mined for so much gold.
Yeah.
Just because everybody goes through a dumb little thing like this, but nobody ever really thinks about it too much.
No.
And I think that's the key to having a less miserable life. If you can just go, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
This is an interesting little thing, tidbit. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get some videos, Joe. I'm running low, but it's fine because
We're taking a break.
taking a break. And you've got a few too. Boy, it's getting hot in here. Wearing a suits for the birds. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Because, okay, for the birds,
I would make up something silly like somebody's trying to make dinner or something, and they go, "Hey, are we gonna cook these?" And it's bird seeds, and then somebody went, "No, that's for the birds."
only.
I don't know.
The birds got to eat. Maybe it's like stale bread. You don't want to eat the stale bread, so you throw it to the birds.
Could be.
It's rotten or ruined.
Depends on how old that saying is, I guess.
I assume it's pretty old. All right, what do we got here? The Agony of Defeat, it's called. And let me turn the volume up. I don't remember any of these.
It's like the 80s.
Brian charges down the runway. But then
Something seems like... Oh!
slams into
Here's the thing, Joe. That's not what you want to do. I think you...
agony.
That dude, he hit that so hard. Oh, you know he doesn't even know where he's at right now.
Here's the thing about it. That's the Olympics, right? That's the biggest stage that this man is working up to
Yeah.
be on. I think the nerves got him.
Probably.
The stage fright. But boy, here's the thing though. What is it about choking? How do you choke like that? Like this guy, I could conceive that he has been practicing for his whole life, hundreds of hours, and he does this and flops. So it's not even like he almost did a good job. He failed so hard.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Is it just the nerves?
You gotta be.
But good Lord, man. Maybe I could blame the little spring thing there. All right, enough of that. I kind of remember this, but I don't remember what it was.
Holy found a Silkhenge.
Are you kidding?
Wow. Oh my god. What you're seeing now is
Okay.
never before seen detail. For those
That's kind of
unfamiliar
interesting.
with the Silkhenge structure, underneath that middle tower and inside that white ball are several eggs, usually 2 to 4 spider eggs, which already makes it bizarre. Why? Because most spiders lay hundreds of eggs at a time, not just a few. Here's my finger to give you an idea of just how tiny they are. And then we have this fence.
A
What is it
fence?
for? Keeping things
It's a
out,
spider.
trapping
I would have never
prey,
thought.
Mimicking a fungus on a plant? At this point, we're all guesses, as Silkhenge is so rarely seen that we haven't been able to take the time to
Did they say
observe
what
it
spider
in
it was?
action in the wild.
Oh, Silkhenge
Sound
spider.
off in the comments if
Of
you
course
have
it
any
is.
ideas.
You're always known for your best work.
It is interesting, though. I remember why I sent that is because, we've all seen spider webs, and they all look similar but different. I mean, obviously going to be different. But I've never seen a spider create an obelisk with
Yeah.
a fence around it, like that you go
The fence
immediately
is
go,
what's really
yeah, it's like human-esque in a
Yeah.
way. But so that makes me wonder, are we really that smart? Or did we mimic a thing? Or we just, is an idea kind of across?
a wall is like the simplest thing to keep stuff in
Yeah.
or out. So it makes sense that
Well,
they
and
would
animals
do it.
build walls sometimes.
Yeah.
Now this is a
What's
little more
weird
intricate.
is
than,
that, like he said, there's like 3 or 4 eggs in there, and
Yeah.
usually, you've seen those spiders when their babies hatch, hundreds of them. They climb on the mom's
I've seen
abdomen,
something, yeah.
and if you ever get a flashlight and shine it at it, you can see hundreds of it. Looks like glitter because of their eyes reflecting back at you.
Oh, I don't like spiders.
I remember when I was at my old job, probably like 5 years ago, my boss, there was I don't know what kind of spider it was, but it was about that big leg.
Tarantula!
I don't think it was a tarantula. But the leg span was about like that. And he was like, step on it. And I said, I'm not stepping on it. It's got thousands of babies on its back. And I'll do it. And he did. Tiny spiders go everywhere.
Did you say Chinese spiders?
Tiny.
So many Chinese spiders.
I don't know what their orientation is.
It sounds like a tarantula, but I don't know much. I'm not a big, what do they call those? Spider guy.
I think
And I don't know much about spiders. I wouldn't have stomped on it because that's a big spider.
yeah.
Now, a little spider, especially like a recluse or what do they call it? Fiddlebacks.
Yeah.
I had a freaking black widow last summer. I thought, got to kill that thing.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that? You're a saver.
If I think it's poisonous
Well, if you know it is, what do you do? Like a
or
black widow.
venomous, rather, that's the proper term.
Right.
If a black widow, I will spray that guy.
I sprayed him. Yeah.
I don't need that in my life.
What was I going to say? Oh, it's funny that we're talking about spiders. I'd forgotten about this, but one of the things I thought I'd get copyright stricken, copyright struck, thunderstruck. I wanted to play that. You remember the Three Stooges short with they're in the courtroom and they're going to play the instruments and he's playing the fiddle and he accidentally hits the guy's toupee and it falls on the ground and Larry goes, "A tarantula!"
A tarantula! What's wrong with you?
And then Mo, he grabs a gun and he starts shooting it. That's
Yeah.
one of the funniest Three Stooges bits. But I thought,
I think
I
that
don't
was
want to
actually
get
the
struck.
first Three Stooges
Really?
I ever saw because my mom and dad bought us a tape that had like 4 episodes
It's
on
got
it.
a lot of good bits. When Curly goes to testify and he
With the
says,
hat.
"Take off your hat."
Yeah,
And he takes it,
yeah.
Put your hand on you. It's just funny. And I wonder, is it just because we have nostalgia for that stuff, or do you think like if you played it now on TV like a rerun, would like Penny would like it. I think.
Probably.
I played her. You remember the one where they're plumbers? I don't even know if they were plumbers, but they were doing plumbing. It was a big to do, and they were messing up. That was a good one. She thought that was funny, and I think the physical humor maybe is like over the ages.
Or the one when
stay.
they get stuck in the phone booth.
I don't remember that one. I need to go back and
That was
and
a
watch.
Shemp episode.
I prefer Curly.
I do too.
But Shemp is funny. Nevertheless, let's do one more. Tarantula. I'll never forget when he pulls that gun out. It's so over the top.
It is.
That's
to shoot
pure
a
comedy.
spider. Yeah.
That's negligent firing of a weapon, I think,
Yeah.
in public. All right, one more. We'll call it a day, or I'll call it a moon. This is a moon. All right, unless this is just very bad. Oh boy,
Oh, I've seen this.
Oh, when you have a bad day, sometimes you know what they say: when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
Imagine you're injured so badly that they need a helivac you, and you're pulling 20 G's.
If that were me, turn this music off. First of all, if that were me, the video would show slings of vomit, just slinging.
Same. That's like astronaut training right there.
Yeah. Boy, I should hire that guy for Nancy. Do you think could you sue for that? Because you're not hurt.
I don't know.
I mean, if they make you puke, like it's not like they've dropped you and your head broke. But if they have video of this and they go, you owe me like $20 for making me puke. That sounds not sounds, but that looks horrible.
I'll just say this: let's say I own the company that was doing the evacuation, and they came to me and said, "Hey, this happened," and they showed me the video. I go, "We're not going to charge you."
That's true. You know what? Let me leaf you out some at least some.
Here's
ones.
$20.
Buy yourself a Coke.
Yeah.
A Coke and a smile. I think that's good.
Okay.
And that concludes 30 episodes, Joe. I'm proud
30.
of us because I don't want to call us quitters,
No.
but we have something in our brains. And I used to think it was just you, but I know now that I also have it too. Maybe
What's
to
that?
varying degrees of going,
Yeah.
I don't really feel like we have a little bit of Larry David. One of the reasons why I want to play that thing, we have some level of Larry David in us that goes, I'd just rather let's just not do anything.
Yeah.
Because part of us goes, who cares? And then we go, do I care? And I go, I kind of care. And then I don't know. It's just, but I think that it was a good season. 30 episodes. That's nothing to cough at or sneeze at. Whatever kind of projection you want to say of a sickness.
So we've been doing this for more than 30 weeks because, like you said, we had the failed episodes. We had the weeks we just didn't record.
Right.
We just did shorts.
I can't remember when we started. I think it was January 20th something. Because I remember we put out the promo video, and we've put out some funny stuff. But nevertheless, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for subscribing to the show. We got 111 subscribers.
It's a lot.
That's not bad.
No.
The Disney one, the Disney short, had a lot of controversy, but I got a lot of views. 10,000 views on
That's
Disney.
a lot.
Anyways, thank you for watching this episode, and thank you for watching all the episodes, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Rennie and Doc.